Hey everybody, welcome to a live broadcast of Do You Believe show on Paranormal Zone TV. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. For those who may be new to the show, if you would please subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And please don't forget to give the show a like. Tonight, I'm so excited because I have never aired a show on witches. I know nothing about them. And come to find out, my friend, Kristin Lee, who is owner of the Bellaire House, well, guess what? She's High Priestess of the Temple Diana. And when I found that out, I had to bring on Kristin. So everybody, with that, let's welcome Kristin to the show. Hey, Kristin, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Noreen. I love you.
I love you too. So if you turn on your little tablet now, you can see like we're sitting together.
Yep,
do you
absolutely.
see? It's a 30-second delay, but it looks like we're sitting together. How's
That's
that?
great.
See that? Yay! I'm sitting right next door. Everybody, so Kristin is, like I said, is the owner of the Haunted Bellaire House. And I know you all know about the Haunted Bellaire House. She's had quite a history with it, and dramatic things have happened to her since she's owned the Bellaire House. And she's also a high priestess of the ancient temple of Diana. Well, you know, if you go back into the archives, our last show with Kristin Lee was on saving the Haunted Bellaire House. And I hope you go back in the archives and watch the show. It was just a couple of weeks ago. But tonight, my topic is witches. And Kristin, will you please tell us, you are a high priestess of the ancient temple of Diana. Now, how did you get involved in that?
I wasn't. It's very hard to get into a temple. First of all, I was approached when I started working as a psychic medium in Salem, Massachusetts during the Festival of the Dead, and I made a lot of connections there, and a lot of those people became very good friends and family. There was some blood family there as well, but they approached me. They liked the way that I continued my spiritual beliefs, the way that I counseled people, the way that I continued my academic education, of course the way that I did readings and how I treated people fairly and how humble I was. So when they come knocking at your door, it's an honor, and a lot of people really want to be, a lot of witches really want to be in that kind of an environment to learn from each other. And that's really why I had gone to Salem to begin with. It wasn't just because of the job. I also knew that I would be able to learn from the best of the best in the occult world. And I would also be able to learn some things about how to protect myself from the Bellaire House. So I've always been different, as people would say. I've always kind of had my head in the clouds and have always connected to the solar energy, the lunar energy, water, fire, definitely spirit. And I'm just like I love animals. I love the earth. I love nature. So I knew that I didn't know that was going to be my path. But it is my path, and I've accepted it. And now the Temple of Diana, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Our organization is headed in Salem, Massachusetts. I run the Ohio chapter, and I oversee a lot of the priests and priestesses that follow the old religion here in Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and a little bit of New Jersey. So, and then everybody else is, you know, some people are on the West Coast, some people are, you know, in Colorado, in Oregon. So we're based, and we even have people that are in the Dominican Republic. So we're very, very large. We're a large organization, and we don't have particular faith base. Like people can be Wiccans, they can be pagans, they can practice Santeria, they can practice Stregoria, and that's what me and Darcy, she goes by Ariana Silver. She and I are, we were, our elder had trained us in Old World Stregheria, which is the Italian craft. And we've studied the Italian craft for years and years and years and years and years and years. And right now, I serve as a board director on the Temple of Diana, the organization, the nonprofit organization, simply because I don't have time to have a higher role because of the Bellaire House and my ministries that I do. But we've been growing. This is going to be our 12th year in operation as a 501c3 nonprofit. And we educate people and we help people get through hard times. And we do it all with that faith base of the old gods and the old religion.
So is it also called like the Dianic Wiccan tradition? Is that what it is?
No, ours is a lot older than that. The Dianic Wiccan tradition is more of the feminine-based tradition, and that's cool because we have some ladies that come over to us too, and we accept everyone. But we are more of that Roman, Apollo, Diana, just the whole, gosh, it can go back all the way to Giordano Bruno, before Sicily was actually called Sicily, when you go into Trinacria. So we were very, very old religion. We're not the oldest, but we're quite old. And we follow the old gods, just the very, very old gods, the old ways, the old planetary alignment. People now look at like Jupiter and Mercury as planets, to where we still look at them as gods, as well as Saturn. So that whole astrology part of things is definitely the core of our magic practices.
Mm-hmm. Are you considered a witch?
I don't like the word witch, but let me say this. If you look at the acronym of witch, W stands for wise. W-I. I stands for intelligent. W-I-T stands for truth. C is courage, and H is honor. So if somebody's going to call me a witch, then they need to look at the acronym and call me that, because we definitely have to be wise. We always are in study, and we always study from each other. We know nothing, and we just continue to learn and learn and learn. That's what we do. And you have to be courageous, you have to be truthful, and you have to be honorable. And in order to hold the title of a witch in the Temple of Diana, you have to have those core values as well. But what we would normally be called is strega.
Oh,
and
I've
that
heard
is
of that.
Italian for witch.
Yeah. But, all right, okay, so are you also considered a Wiccan?
No, I'm not considered a Wiccan.
Either.
My husband was a Wiccan before he married me, and then he converted to Stregheria.
Oh, so yeah, see, I know nothing about this. I was trying to research it, and I kept coming across Wiccan, Wicca, witches. What about witchcraft? Do you do anything with witchcraft?
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely petition. I have, what Wiccans would call a book of shadows, but it's a family recipe book that's been passed down, and we call them recipes. We have oral teaching, so let me backpedal here for a minute. Nothing, you're not going to find a lot about Stregheria. You're just not. Let's see, I've got many books on Stregheria, but it's from Leo Luis Martello, and he was one of the authors. And then if we look at Raven Gramassi, he was also one of the authors, but then he stopped researching and studying that path. But typically it's just all oral. It's all oral passed down teachings, and it looks like our generation and the generation before us, we've actually started to document some of the things that we're allowed to document, but there are very, very, very many things that we're not allowed to share with regular people.
Why? Why is that?
It's just a bloodline, and it's a family tradition, and it would be no different than, I don't know, maybe a baker bakes this great loaf of bread, and you don't want to give the whole recipe away, because then it doesn't become yours anymore. It doesn't become your family's, and it doesn't have that sustainable honor, and it loses its power. That's the way way that we were taught.
I also read that witches are capable of healing, and they have a knowledge of herbs, minerals, and an alternative science that allows them to heal people at a distance. Does that also refer to you?
Yes, that with the distance, we would consider that Reiki, and that's more of an Eastern philosophy and practice. But like I said, we have such a melting pot of different members of our temple where if I know something, I can call somebody, and if they don't know something, they can call me. So we've all been learning from each other. But the Reiki healing, yes, absolutely, 100%. You can totally do that remotely with just energy, because what you're doing is you're pushing healing energy. The way that I personally would do it, because I work with the archangels, I would call upon Archangel Raphael, who is our healing angel, and I would call upon the Western Quarter, because that's where he's from. And the Western Quarter also represents water, and water is very healing. So at that point in time, if someone who is in need of healing, whether physiological or psychological, we would definitely try to push that energy to them, and we would petition Archangel Raphael from the Western Quarter and the water to just shed light and healing on that person. But depending on what level of their physical is that needs healing, well, there's also the 7 points of Reiki too, and that certainly can be incorporated as well, remotely or hands-on, either way.
Well, Kristin, what about medical? What if somebody is really seriously ill?
Well, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I'm a cancer survivor, and
Wow.
I've had cancer, and I've had many healers lay their hands on me, and I also saw my physicians as well. My physicians did my surgeries, but if it wasn't for the mixture of the spiritual, the healing, the Reiki, the gods, the angels, the saints, I'd probably hanging out with, I don't know, Jimi Hendrix right now.
Oh.
You know?
Well, I didn't know you were a cancer survivor. Did you also do your own healing as well?
No, when you're not well, you shouldn't be petitioning or, as some people say, casting spells. We don't cast spells. That's what Hollywood does.
Oh,
we don't do that. Now, there's some people that still say, I'm going to cast tonight, and that's fine. But that's their faith base. That's their religion. That's not what we do. Like I said, we're much older. We're not any better because we're all the same, but we just do things a little bit differently.
Do you charge when if somebody comes to you and says that I have cancer? It's at the moment it's not life threatening, but it's I'm not going to die from it right now. But and if they came to you, could you do whatever that you do, and do you charge?
I wouldn't charge for something like that, but I would really have to think twice about it, because what you're essentially doing is you're allowing your own energy source to enter into their energy source to those energies collide, and then you would be at risk. I would be at risk, and there's other people that do that, and I would refer out to somebody that's more equipped to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't charge either. There's no charge in something like. And if people are charging you for healing, then you might want to find a different healer.
Okay. Now, what about spirit communication? And because I also read about witchcraft, and I know you don't do witchcraft, but because there's spell casting with the witchcraft, spirit communication, and demonology. Is any that part of what you do?
It is a base. We were trained for about 8 years in the dark arts, but it was only to protect ourselves from the dark arts. I hate using the word dark and light, because to me personally it feels like it's racist, and I don't like that. But again, my elders, were from the 50s, the 60s. They're very ahead of their time when it came to pigmentation of the skin. So we use positive and negative. But with demonology, yes, I have been trained in that area from my elders here in the temple, as well as outside of the temple. And I've also been trained by Catholic priests. So it's you know, for me, I welcome and I embrace all religion, because at the end of the day, as long as we have that higher faith base and we believe in something higher and we have that hope and that faith, and we, without a doubt, we know that we can manifest things, that's truly what it's all about. It isn't about getting a candle that's green to bring in money and get pine and olive oil and rub it down or rub it up, however you want to bring it in or bring it down. It isn't about that all the time. It helps. It definitely helps, because there are certain deities that like certain things. And let's say that you're going to Grandma's house on Sunday and Grandma likes raspberry pie. What are you going to do? You're going to take Grandma raspberry pie because you love her and you honor her and you want to spend time with her. And I think that's the difference between a seasoned witch and an unseasoned witch. You have to build that spiritual rapport first. You have no choice, because you just can't knock on somebody's door and say, "Hi, I'm Kristin Lee. I would like this, 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 and this." Well, I don't know you, Kristin Lee, so I don't trust you, and I don't know what's about you, so I can't give you this, 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 and this. So it takes years to develop this spiritual rapport with different deities. And I work with many of them. I work with so many different deities, because another way to look at it is, let's say that, okay, a client that I worked with today, she needed some information on how to find love and how to rebuild that love that has been broken and that trust that has been broken. Well, same sense here. If I have a foot problem, if my foot is broken, I'm not going to go see a heart doctor, because the heart doctor is not going to know how to fix my foot. So at that point in time, then you have to realize and
oh, you know what, Kristin? You're you might have to cut something off, because your video part now is slowing down. Maybe you might have to turn off the YouTube. Is somebody still using the internet in your house?
Probably.
Well, you better tell them to stop. It's ruining your live feed.
Okay, how's that?
No, you're frozen. Okay.
Is that better?
Well, you're still frozen.
Ah.
Yeah, because when we started the show, your video and audio was fabulous.
Okay. Well, that, can you excuse me for just one moment and let me...
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just a moment. Thank you.
Okay. One moment, please, everyone. Also, Royce can take your questions. So if you want to start typing in your questions to Royce, he'll send them to me. We'll do questions tonight. And I brought my calendar. I've got some good shows coming up. I'll let you know the 2 next shows that are coming up. Okay, hold on, everybody. Okay, you back, Kristin?
Yeah, is that better?
No. What happened?
He shut down. He completely shut down everything.
That's so...
And when we talk about things like this, too, sometimes things aren't supposed to be out there. So...
I understand that. I understand.
But we're also in pre-Mercury retrograde, too, so technology... What about black magic and white magic? What can you tell us about that? Do you do any of that? Well, we don't like to call it black magic. I don't, and I don't like to call it white magic. I call it positive and negative, justice, and, magic is magic. Without the sun, there is no moon. Without the day, there is no night. And then without the positive, there is no negative. So it's a balance. But let's say, for instance, that someone broke into being abused, and the police or the social services or DSS has been called several times. And the parents are like Teflon, nothing sticks to them. That's justice magic. The children are innocent. Yes, we would do something. Let's say that an elderly lady is being beaten and she's an invalid and she can't work, or a man, anyone, and the authorities have been notified and nothing happens. Yes, at that point, I would petition the proper channels and execute justice magic. Animals. I saw this man kick this dog the other day.
Oh
I
my
kept
God.
my mouth shut. Kept my mouth, watched him. He kicked the dog again. And then I said to him, "You might not want to kick your dog anymore." And then he called me an effing bitch, and I said, "Okay, you want to play like that?" So, justice magic. Now, everybody's worried, well, that will come back on you. Not if you're justified. Not if you're justified. But it takes an extreme. And you definitely have to have control of your emotions. You can't just do justice magic all day long. You certainly have to be justified. And it takes a long time for you to kind of decide whether it's something that is for the benefit of all.
What about rituals?
Oh, yes, we do rituals every day. Every day. And on holidays, we do special rituals. We have a feast on the table, and we all gather together, and we eat, and we sing, and, we go outside if it's nice outside, and just kind of tune in to the night sky or the beautiful day, or in the spiritual animals that show up. I've got like 8 deer that come to my porch now, and about 12 crows that just fly over my house, and beautiful canaries and wild canaries and blue jays, and you can definitely tell this is the witch's house. And cats that just show up out of nowhere that need rescue. Yeah, absolutely.
So in your rituals, are you allowed to tell us how do you conduct your rituals? Or for certain circumstances, are they each different? Do you use a book? Do you use candles? How do you perform a ritual? And what would the ritual be for? For a healing? To retribution for somebody? I mean, what do you use the rituals for?
Well, if there's retribution for someone, I would normally petition that on my own. For festive rituals, like, okay, so we're walking into the Feast of Torches. And what we will do when we go down to New Orleans, I think it's in 9 days actually, we will all get together and to honor Diana, and we put candles inside of something that's going to float on the river, like Diana and her followers did back in the day, and we will honor her that way. We'll eat, we will laugh, we will sing, we will be merry, we will raise that vibration. Of course, we'll have candles. Of course, we'll have drummers and drumming, and just raise the energy, raise the vibration. That's truly what it's all about. When you're doing rituals, it's a celebration. When you're doing retribution or justice magic, it's not a celebration, and that needs to be taken very serious. That's just the way we do things. But the feast, then we have St. Michaelmas, the Archangel St. Michael. And honestly, not a lot of people know this. Some people do, and I am allowed to disclose this. There's only one day out of the whole entire year that a witch is allowed to go into a Catholic church, and that is the Feast of St. Michael. Now, current days, it's the Feast of the Archangels. So they've incorporated all the archangels together, and it just isn't about St. Michael, St. Miguel. It's about all of the archangels. But every 28th, 29th, whatever day that it falls on of every year, my family goes to St. Michael Church in the Catholic Church, and we honor St. Michael and all of the other archangels with everyone that's in the Catholic congregation. And they know who we are, and they know what we believe, and they're okay with that because we're there to honor St. Michael and the other archangels.
Okay. What now? You have some psychic powers, don't you? Kristin? What kind of powers do you possess?
Because of my rapport that I built with different deities, different angels, different saints, my ancestors, I do work full time as a psychic medium. A lot of people say that psychics and mediums they're just possessed. They're possessed by the devil. But I don't work in that. I work completely and totally in the light of many different gods. And a lot of people are like, well, there's only one God. Well, of course there is, but there's also Buddha, there's Jesus, there's so many different gods as per cultural diversity and ethnicity, but it all comes into one. It all comes into one faith. And that's what I like to educate people about, because they see the craft, or they see the new series Salem, and they see American Horror Story Coven, and how they were burned, and how they did these things. And yes, we do use herbs, absolutely 100%. We use herbs for healing, physiological healing. We also use herbs to honor our saints and our angels and our deceased loved ones and the different deities. For example, Yemaya is someone that I work with a lot. I love Yemaya very, very much. She and I have a very strong spiritual rapport, and I have her statue here. This is my little Yemaya. And she is the sea mother. And this is Santeria. And she, when her water broke, she made all of the oceans. And she takes care of women and children. And women typically that have male children is who she really connects with most. And well, I have 2 boys, and Yemaya and I have a very, very strong connection. But another ritual too that I would like to talk about, because I promised them that I would talk about it, when we were in a very difficult way, and we were about to lose our business, I had Hecate, and the Wiccans and pagans, they call her Hecate or something like that, but we call her Hecate. And it was on a Saturday, because Saturday severs ties. So when we work in Saturn energy on a Saturday, the planet Saturn, but in the olden days, the god Saturn, he severs all ties. He just stops things from happening. So first of all, I petitioned Hecate, and I petitioned Saturn on Saturday, and I said, if I am not justified in this action, then I am okay with it, and I will be at peace with it, but you have to show me that I am justified, and you have to help me be able to accept the fact that I will no longer be walking this path. So that was one Saturday. The following new moon, the dark moon, actually, it was the dark moon, because there's a difference between the new moon and the dark moon. The new moon is new, and you can't see it, but the day before the new moon is the dark moon. So at that point in time, my husband and I, we petitioned Saint Expedito, and on my back altar, Saint Expedito, who you write down, and you write that, and you talk to him, and you say his prayer, and you tell him what you need. And we told him specifically what we needed, and you have to have a specific date, and you have to petition him for 7 days straight. And you have to get a red candle, a lawn taper candle, and you cannot put it out. It has to burn down the whole entire day. And you have to leave him chocolates, you have to leave him silver, you have to leave him anise, you have to leave him many other different things. And petition him. And when you petition him, you better make sure it's what you want. That's all I have to say. Because it happens. It happens quickly. And I'll be very honest with you. When I went to Hecate, and I went to Saturn, and I said, if I'm no longer supposed to have the Bellaire House, then and I am not justified to have it, then take it from me. But make sure you allow me to find peace
it's also positive thinking. It's also positive thinking. And I understand that when you have that positive thinking, your energy shoots out to the universe those positive vibes.
That's right. You got it. You got it. So if people want to be positive all day long and be called witches, hi. Because, you know, it's the power of projection, it's the power of perception. And there are deities above us. There is energy above us. There's energy below us. Utilize those energies to manifest what you need for yourself and others.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I know somebody that does that, and every day they thank the universe for all the good things that happen to them. Yeah. Do you think? All right, you know, they're thanking the universe. What do you think that when they're thanking the universe, it's a higher power? It may not be God, the way they think of it, but it's to them it's the higher power. What do you think about God and higher powers?
I have friends that are atheists. I walk on eggshells because I don't want to offend my friends. If they're not comfortable with, you know, God, Jesus, Jesus, Mary, Yamaya, Hakate, Jessica, then I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to offend them. So I would use things like your greater self or your higher power or the universe. That's just being polite and it's being ethical. It truly is. But yeah, when you tap into that grid of that energy, that constant movement. I mean, let's be real. The only thing that bound us here to Earth is gravity. You know, our spirit can be all over the place. It's like in a book. Whatever we think in our mind's eye, we can be there in that split second. And believing that, actually seeing it, and living like you're doing it, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. So connecting to the universe, yes, absolutely 100%. Yes, that's the best, most proper way to say it. But for me, with this particular work that I do and specific work that I do, I would definitely, I mean, I've got Saint Expedito on my altar. I'm talking about him because that is how I honor him. And when we talk about different deities, we talk about different experiences, it just makes, it makes the magic more powerful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have another question. How did they come up with this image with witches on a broomstick? How was there a connection?
Hollywood. But no. The broom in the Wiccan religion is called the vessel in the pagan. And my husband and I actually for our wedding, our hand fast, we jumped over the broom. The broom represents fertility. The broom represents when we sweep things out, when we're sweeping out dirt, what are we doing? We're getting rid of the filth want to cut that cord, and you want to start fresh.
What kind of a broom? Any kind of a broom, or the kind that has the natural? Any kind?
Any kind of, yeah, any kind of broom. I'll get one of the brooms with the great big. Hold on, I'll show you a little more that I'm working on. And right now is a really great time to go get them because we're approaching the Halloween season.
Oh yeah.
So if you go to like Packagans or something or Michael's, just start putting your money inside. You know.
You put the money inside of it. Yeah, probably like Cost Plus or something would sell a broom like that. For us.
My other room is in the front door.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'll have to replay this. You know, we have. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we take questions?
Geez, I can talk to you for years.
Oh, I know. I'll have you back anytime you want to come back. But as far as witches go, what about? Do you have a book of spells that you? Is there any kind of books that you are part of your organization? I guess that's what you call it. Are you considered a coven?
Right, we are. We're a coven. I have probably, I would say, 300 books on my shelf right now.
So with those 300 books, are they all? Is it just the books that you would use for reference, or they are part of your coven that everybody would have these 300 books?
Well, everybody that's in our coven probably has about 30 of them because it's a requirement. You have to read these 30 books before you would be considered a priestess. But I mean, goodness gracious, I reference Judica a lot. I mean, she writes dictionaries and the Dictionary of Saints, the Encyclopedia of Spells. She writes encyclopedias. So, but I really cling to Leo Louis Martello. I mean, he resonates with me. He was one of our elders. You know, but then looking here, and some of my husband's books are in here too. He has The Magician's Companion, The Cauldron of Memories, Pure Magic. I found the Angelology encyclopedia in my son's bedroom today, and I was like, go Lane. So he's totally checking that out. But yeah, I mean, it's birthday astrology offerings, astral projection, crystallology, herbology. Yeah, it's just like, if you have to look something up, there it is. But the internet, so there's certain websites and stuff like that. In our temple private website, we can post something in our website blog, and if you have any kind of questions, if I don't have it, somebody's going to have it. So we're very fortunate to be able to lean on each other that way.
Okay. All right, so let's take some questions from the viewers. Okay, Carolyn 222. What do you think black shadows are? Are they demons?
I don't feel like every black shadow is a demon. I believe that it's part of a negative energy, whether it be an earthbound spirit or something that is darker. I always resort to demons last because it takes a lot of data collection and time to actually decipher if it truly is a demon. No, I don't think all of them are demons, but I think that if it has a darker energy to it, it's probably a good thing to shield yourself quickly. We can talk about how you can shield yourself, how you can protect yourself too, if you'd like. Just remind me. But no, I don't think all of them are demons. And I don't think that all of them are negative. It just depends on the entity, truly. It really does. And studying it, trying to communicate with it to see if it is. So it would be a lot of work.
All right. From Texas, Nancy. Kristin Lee, what are the signs to recognize if you might be a witch?
If you're attuned, if you're definitely
Okay. Next question. Hold on. Let's see. At 2 question. At 2. What is the strangest thing you have seen at the Bellaire House?
Go dancing on the floor. I'm just joking.
Oh.
I think the most profound, strange, you could look at that in different ways, but the most profound thing that really made me a believer is seeing Bella put up against the wall. There's nothing that should have done that. And that's when I realized, oh my God, this is more than I can handle. It was invisible. She just was lifted up. She was just thrown.
Now, who are you referring to?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Bella, my dog. She's back there. That's Bella. And she's no longer with us, but she's always on my shoulder every time I'm in my office. And her ashes are up on my memorial altar as well.
All right, we have another question. Metal on the moon. What does it mean when you have coincidences more than 3-4 times a day, every day?
That is coincidence. It's a sign. You need to listen to it, honey. You absolutely need to listen to that. That's spirit talking to you, and be open and willing to receive it. Basically, what you're going through right now, think of it as you're in the hospital getting ready to have surgery, and you have your IV in with your big bag hanging up, right? Well, think of that big bag as the universe or spirit, and you've got that IV coming into your arm. It's just a straight idea of spiritual communication. Pay attention to it. It's important. It's going to change, and it seems like it's going to change for you for the best if you start paying attention to it. From what I'm tuning into, feels like you're really going to have some doors opening up for you, where you're going to be cutting people out to move forward for the betterment of you and the people that you live with. That's what it feels like.
Okay. Pungi Fungi. Are there secret... Yeah, that's a cute name. Are there secret rituals that only members of the temple are privy to?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Can you mention any?
They're secret.
just to try. All right, Charlene Findlay. Is there really a book of shadows?
Yeah, there really is. But you have to remember, TV makes everything so glamorized, and it just drives me insane. Even on paranormal, it drives me insane. Everybody's looking for a rating. Let's be real here. Let me grab a book. Let's see here. Okay. This book, right? This looks like a witch book, doesn't it? And it has some things in it. Is this a book of shadows? Yes, but what else is it? It's just things that I need to remember. And things that, if someone's sick, call somebody I paid. What are your suggestions for this? Because I've done this, this, and this. And you write these notes down. Does that become a book of shadows? Yes. Yes, it does. Yeah, so they are real. But it's not like you see on Charms, where you open it up and sparks fly out. Midgets are clapping and doing a happy dance and, having some sort of a brass instrument playing in the background. It's not like that. It's way more mundane than that.
Okay. Let's see. Next question from Cominium 77. Do you recommend joining a coven or solitary practice for somebody just starting out?
Well, that's a good question. Definitely get a mentor, because if you're just starting out, there's certain things that you should be aware of. Like void of course, you never want to petition or cast magic in a void of course. And newer people that don't know this,
Okay, ether, shadow. Was Kristin involved in witchcraft before her exposure to the Bellaire House?
Yes.
Tammy Heitzman. Can Kristin please give an example of how her being a witch has helped when dealing with the Bellaire House?
It saved my life. It absolutely saved my life. I've learned how to properly cleanse that house. I've learned how to flatline that house, not only from the witches, but from the Catholics as well. I've learned to walk into that house and know what deities to call on in the event that something is about to not be good. So it has helped. It has helped a tremendous. I mean, I went to Salem not just to work as a psychic medium, but also to learn from the people there on how to live in the Bellaire House and operate the Bellaire House.
Okay, let's see. From Lynn Flygirl, can you tell us about Santeria and how it is different, similar from witchcraft?
Well, for me, I don't feel like there's really a difference because I'm on that cusp. You know, I'm definitely on the scale. It depends. I love water. I love Santeria. You know, there's different things where a Wiccan wouldn't use. I'll just say a Wiccan wouldn't use a cow's tongue. A person is working in Santeria would. It's just dependable. It depends on how much knowledge you have about it first, and how much control you probably should have before you start petitioning different deities.
Okay, let's see. From Jay, Michigan. Has Kristin ever had to deal with or reverse negative curses / spells?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay, and how can you tell that a curse or a spell has been placed on you and it was negative?
Honestly, and I'm just going to be honest about this because I can't. It's my personal life, and I can talk about it. January, I came down with pneumonia. February, I still had pneumonia. March, my temperature was up to 104, and I had pneumonia. I couldn't work. I was losing money. Somebody tried to steal my house. My husband became very sick. My son was in a horrible accident. There were things that were happening that shouldn't have happened. Our temple was the leads of our temple, our elders were hit hard by magic. Those were very, very, very negative things that happened.
So in order for those spells, in order for the spell or the curse to have happened to you, this person had to have been they had to have known what they were doing. They had to be like professional, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely, 100%, yes. Yes.
Wow.
And that's why it's so important not to put your real birth date on your social media pages. Don't do that. If a witch has your birth date and your image,
yeah,
she can do whatever he or she can do whatever they want to do to you. Whatever. That's why you got to shield yourself too. You've got to have that spiritual rapport with the deities. But if that practitioner, if they're not justified, oh boy.
Oh boy.
And in this case, they weren't justified. So I've been sitting back and I've been watching, and I'm just like, yeah. Probably shouldn't have did that to me, or my innocent child, or my innocent animals, or my innocent husband, because they didn't do anything to you.
Now, if someone puts on a curse or a spell, a negative curse or spell toward you, and you have the ability, I mean, a normal person like me, I can feel when somebody has done that to me, and but I don't have the capability that you have to get rid of these curses and spells. I do have a prayer or whatever, but when you find out or you figure out that this negative curse and spell has been placed on you, what do you do? Do you go back and send it back to them tenfold?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what they get for doing stuff like that.
You have to remember, if you're not justified, if you're absolutely not justified, there's always that 10% of their energy that they send you. They send 10% of their energy to you. So you take that 10%, you petition it, and you send it right back to them. And there's ways to do that. Is I don't want to talk about it publicly because then you're going to know parts of the things that we're not allowed to talk about. But if a friend of mine, like you, Noreen, would come to me and say, you know what, I can't, I just deal with this, there's something going on, I would do that for you. I would.
Oh, thanks, honey. Wow, thanks. It hasn't been for a long time, but it has happened, and you can feel it. You can feel it. Okay, so we have another question from Nicole Jacobs. Do you practice astral projection?
No, I don't practice it. It happens. It definitely happens, but I don't practice it. It just naturally happens when I'm in that second or third stage of REM. It's very vivid too. And it's very it feels like velvet to me, like moss. You know, that's what it always feels like to me. But then, you know, the bummer about it is when you wake up, you're so tired, you're so lethargic, and it takes me a couple of days to regain my energy. So I'm always, you know, eating vitamin C, I'm always drinking lots of water, cranberry juice. And then when I do get to that higher level of consciousness, that's when my body knows, that's when I know, hey, it's time to quit eating meat. So then I stop eating meat and just can be completely vegan until I can't take it anymore and I need a piece of cow or chicken. So, but it's normally a couple weeks like that. That's a sign to stop eating meat too.
All right, Lynn Flygirl, do witches believe in the afterlife or reincarnation?
I do. I don't know about other witches, but I do. I know most of the people that I am a part of, the coven that I'm a part of, we all do, yes.
Okay, we have one last question, only because of time constraints, from Mike Ricksecker from Haunted Roads Media.
Mike.
Yay! Hi, Mike. Yeah. Okay, Mike wants to know, has there been any new historical discoveries about the Bellaire House over the past several months?
I don't know if I told him about Alex or not. I may have told him about Alex, who was Edwin and my father, who was committed to the lunatic asylum. That's one thing that we have found with documentation. I have his actual commitment papers. But I don't know if Mike was there when I found, and Rebecca and I found that or not. I'm not 100% sure. But nothing since then. Nothing since then.
Okay. Well, that concludes our questions for tonight. And Kristin, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm so happy that you saved the Bellaire House.
Thank you.
Nobody should own that house except Kristin Lee and her family. No one. It just wouldn't be right.
We have a partner. His name's John, and he's a Buddhist. See how that works?
Oh, wow. That is so awesome. So everything will be running as usual. How can they reach you for, so you have, why don't you give them both of your websites? You have a website and the Temple of Diana, if they want. I guess you have a website for both of them, the Haunted Bellaire House and your High Priestess. Would you give them that information, please?
Yeah, the Bellaire House website is thebellairehouse.com.
Kristin, thank you so much for coming on the show. Anytime you have anything you want to talk about, any topic, subject, just let me know. You're always welcome on my show. I think this is about the 4th show you've done with me.
Isn't it awesome? I love you so much.
Oh, thanks, honey. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy for you. And I love you. And thanks so much. And best wishes to you.
You as well. Many blessings, everyone. Thank you, Noreen.
Thanks, honey.
Have a good night.
You too. Good night, honey.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. I just love Kristin Lee. I just love her. She's just a wonderful, sweet, dear person, and I'm so honored to call her my friend. So everyone, don't forget, anybody new to the show, if you would please subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I almost have 25,000 subscribers. I'm just a couple subscribers away to get that 25,000. Okay, so on the 17th, I'm doing every other week. So on the 17th, Ghost Picks with Vanessa Hogel. She is also, not only is she a psychic, she is an automatic drawer as well. And she's a remote viewer as well. And I've done several shows with her and will continue to do my shows with Vanessa. Also, Mike Ricksecker, who was in, there's Haunted Roads Media. Mike Ricksecker, Haunted Roads Media, and oh my God, poor Mike. Mike, put in your website for your show. He is also live on Tuesdays with Vanessa Hogel, and I apologize. Down the rabbit hole, something like that. Put it in, Mike, or Royce. Would you put in Mike's YouTube channel for that? It's an awesome show with Vanessa. The two of them are awesome together. And Mike, thanks so much for being in the show as well. And also on the 30th, oh, listen, if you want to send me your ghost pics, send them to paranormalzonetv@gmail.com. And send them to me, and we'll put them on the show on the 17th. Also, on the last show of the month, Thursday, on the 31st, Vanessa Hogel, we are going to air a show on the David Pilates 411 missing people. He is claiming that, edge of the rabbit hole, that's it, Mike. He is claiming that these now people that are disappearing are being taken by Bigfoot. So we're going to gather up some of David Pilates' disappearance stories, and we're going to present them, and Vanessa's going to do her remote viewing to find out what really happened to these people. And I'm really excited. That was a viewer request, and I'm really excited about that. On September 14th, Summerwind Restoration. We're going to talk again about the Summerwood, the hauntings of the Summerwood Mansion, and more on the history of the Summerwood and what's been happening since the start of the restoration and what's been going on that property. And I have the head of the Society of the Restoration Committee that's coming on the show, and he will give us more information on the Summerwind. I'm excited about that too. Also, on September 28th, the last Thursday of the month, Jeff Mudgett. His book is called Bloodstains. I've had him on the show several times. And if you ever get a chance to watch the very first show in 2011 that I did with Jeff, Jeff talks about H.H. Holmes, and he has never repeated on any show what he talked about on my show. That show will forever be up on my channel. And then in those days, you know, we didn't have live streaming on YouTube, so the quality is really bad. I mean, I used to stream off of Ustream and live stream, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing. It was awful. It was okay if you did a recorded show, but I never do recorded. All my shows are live. But anyway, so Jeff is coming back. We're going to talk about H.H. Holmes. We're going to talk about the DNA and what's been happening with that whole story. And he's on TV now. He has a show, I think, on the History Channel. And so let's see, what else do I have? Oh, okay, so I do have other shows coming up. And I will wait till the next couple shows to tell you. So everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Let's do some fast shout outs. I want to thank Royce Himon, my mod, and for being here, always being here with me, and for making such a great chat room for everybody. So let's do some shout outs. Royce Himon, Jen Young, Pungai Fungi, Jamie Lynn, Ellen Michael, and I know Carl White's out there. I'm going to say hi, Carl White from the UK. A2. Oh, I'm glad you like that. Anybody else want to shout out? Come on, guys. Ream Sleep Chant. Yeah, the American Ripper. Thanks, Royce. It's it, the American Ripper. Yvette Sanchez. Yeah, A2. I did a shout out. Lynn Flygirl, Nicole Jacobs. Hold on. April Fagan, Nicole Jacobs. Wait a minute. A is... Oh my God, are you kidding me? A is Lint the Pagan Wolf. Texas Nancy. Zippy Davis. Hi, Zippy. Hi, honey. Per Bungalow. Who else? Edward Docherty. Diane Hilbert. Charmy Vapes. Jen Lee. Paraprincess Patricia. Marilyn Harmon. I did Edward Docherty. Oh my God. You know, you guys, this is terrible. I'm embarrassed. I cannot pronounce names. Doherty. Sean Bodine. Thanks, Sean, for being here. Chipateri. There. Charmy Vapes. I did that. Neo Tea Time. Anybody else want to shout out? We had a nice crowd tonight. Hi, Zippy. Yes, Sean Bodine. I did a shout out. Anybody else want to shout out? Because I got to go. Yes, a group hug to everybody, and I hope I see you on, let's see, the next show, which I'm really excited about, on the 17th, Ghost Pics. Can't wait. Don't forget to send me your ghost pics. We'll include them in the show. And Ginger Simmons. Hi, Ginger. Anybody else? I'm going to go. Anybody else want to shout out? All right, have a wonderful weekend. My weekend starts tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Clarinet. I will hug my kitties per Boogaloo. I will. My 15 kitties. We're going to bring in another one. And there's another one that found my house. You know, I put cat food out on my front porch. Kinnaman 77. Kathy P. I put out cat food and fresh water every day in my front porch and in my back deck. So there's cat food for the kitties. And another one found me. Another cat that's been abandoned. And the little kitty, she found me, and we're going to take her. I've been feeding her now for a month. Hi, Dan Schaefer. I've been feeding her, and we're going to take her to the vet. I don't want to bring her in. Yes, 15. I don't want to bring her in until we get her checked out by the vet and then get her shots. And my husband wants me to bring her in. We'll have another kitty in the house. So all our cats are rescues. They're all rescue kitties, and they find me. But I saw my sister rescue kitties, my daughter, and I have rescue kitties. So we take care of our kitties. Everybody, I'm going to say goodnight now. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend, and hugs to you all. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Good night.